Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Clarice Lin, the host of Tools and Channels. We are having our last speaker for today. There will be another session after this. There'll be the keynote on the main stage, so you can join that after that. But I'm very excited to welcome our last speaker today, bring a very exciting topic about TikTok marketing. He is A.B. Lieberman. He has worked in influencer management, representation, and marketing since early 2017 and started working with TikTokers back when they were muses. Dropped out of university after 2 weeks to start an influencer agency that represents 75 plus TikTok and Instagram influencers exclusively with over 45 million total followers, 4,000 influencers non-exclusively, and manage WIN exclusively with 16 million followers. Wow. Specializing in launching social media platforms in the US by filling them with hundreds of content creators to create consistent content. So he has been doing this for the past 5 years for the following apps: Quai, Like, TikTok, Ponko. Sorry, there's a lot of brand names that I've never heard of myself. Bigo, Liftman, Uplift, Miko, Hakuna, Hola, Facecast, Triller, Livet, Hago, Cheese, Zin, and many others. So his company has worked with brands like Google, Sony Pictures, Toyota, Cheetos, Pepsi, Manscaped, FabFitFun, Flat Tummy Co., ByteDance, YY, Hyperconnect, Kuaishou, Skechers, Lysol, as well as labels like Atlantic Records, Amanda, Dimmark, CloudKit, and Columbia Records. So AB has spent over 7+ years studying human psychology and body language independently and in depth to deliver the best experience possible to his clients and employees. So let's put our hands together to welcome AB, the top secrets of TikTok marketing that no one will tell you. Welcome him.
Hi, everybody. My name is AB, and I'm the CEO and founder of Clicks Talent. Today, we're going to be talking about the top secrets of TikTok marketing that no one's going to tell you. Before we get into it, I would love to give a quick background on my company. So Clarissa already gave a pretty good rundown. I started Clicks Talent about 5 years ago. We specialize in influencer marketing, specifically on TikTok. However, we also operate on Instagram and YouTube. And our core business model is marketing new social media platforms and helping them launch, with TikTok being one of our oldest clients. We were recently voted as the #1 TikTok influencer agency by Business to Community, so that's a nice little flex. And that's a little bit about us. Now, I'm going to get into my talk and explain what it is we're going to talk about today. Before I do that, for those of you that are unfamiliar with TikTok, I wanted to give a quick history. So about 6 years ago, TikTok was an app called Musical.ly at the time. It was an extremely popular social media platform, and at its peak, it had over 100 million users. Up until August of 2018, when it was bought out by a Chinese company called ByteDance. So ByteDance came in, bought Musical.ly, and overnight, they migrated all of their users from Musical.ly over to their short-form video app called TikTok. And literally overnight, TikTok became a success. Nowadays, TikTok's available in over 150 countries with over 1 billion active users. Now, in today's talk, we're going to be talking about 3 key points. First off is, how much should you be paying for influencer marketing on TikTok? What are you supposed to be paying for? What are your options when it comes to your money and TikTok? Next is, what is TikTok best used for? How do you measure ROI? How do you know if your TikTok campaign was successful, and if everything is going according to plan, and you should be putting more money into TikTok, or you should be taking money out of TikTok? Lastly, we're going to talk about agencies, how to choose an agency to work with, how do you know if the agency is legitimate, potential fraud and scams in the industry, and just general things to be aware of when it comes to working with an agency. So first off, we have what can you pay for on TikTok? So there's 5 key items that you can pay for on TikTok. First off, you have videos. Videos is also known as UGC, or user-generated content. This is where a content creator or an influencer will create a video for you and just for you to use. Whether you want to use it in ads, you want to use it on your social media, they're just creating a video. What you do with it afterwards is a whole nother story, but it's not going up on their page. You then have posts. Posts are where that influencer created that video and is now posting that video on their page. That's a completely separate topic that you could be paying for. Thirdly, we have links in bio. So a link in bio, a lot of companies think that, oh, if we hired you to create a video, you're now putting a link in bio. But a link in bio is extremely precious real estate space. Many companies are trying to get influencers to put their links in their bios. So it's important to understand that most influencers, most agencies, most companies are going to charge in order for you to put a link in an influencer's bio. Next, we have licensing rights and usage. So this is linking back to our first topic, which is videos. Licensing, you could pay for the licensing rights to use content online, in ads, on social media, in traditional TV ads, whatever it is that you're looking to use those videos in, you could pay for the rights to that video. And lastly, we have Spark Ads rights. Spark Ads is a feature on TikTok where it allows you as the client to put money behind an influencer's video who created content promoting your brand and your product. And you can basically pay TikTok to promote that video and to sponsor that video so that it gets more views, more reach, and more likes. So that's another topic that you can pay for when it comes to TikTok, which is the right to do Spark Ads, where the influencer has to give you permission to do it. And you can then get access to a backend on TikTok to pay to promote your video. Now, pricing for all of these things ranges a lot. It ranges anywhere from $10 all the way up to $200,000. And I've even seen quotes that go past that. The metrics that are used in order to properly calculate how much you should be paying for influencers comes down to 3 main components. We have number of followers, engagement versus views ratio, how many people are interacting with the video versus how many people are actually seeing the video, and then the total amount of views, which is the reach. How far are you getting with your content? How many people are getting to see your videos, promoting your brand, and are seeing your brand and are able to actually interact with it and potentially buy from you? These are the 3 main components when it comes to calculating pricing with TikTok. Obviously, different agencies and different influencers will use different components and different criteria to calculate their pricing. This is based off of what we do in my agency, but it is a general rule of thumb that this is what you should be looking at when you're trying to figure out how much should you pay for an influencer. Here you can see a quick sample. Feel free to screenshot or take a picture of this. This is a sample from our internal files of what to expect to pay for the different aspects that we spoke about before. So you have video content. You can expect anywhere from $100,000 to $15,000 a video. Obviously, it depends on the content creator creating the video, the quality, the requirements, etc. You have a post on TikTok, so that's going to cost you anywhere from $250 all the way up to $250,000, again, depending on the influencer taking part. A link in bio will usually cost anywhere from $100 to $5,000 per 24 hours. Again, you have outliers. I've seen influencers charging less. I've seen influencers charging more, but this is the general sweet spot of what to expect when you are paying for a link in bio. Licensing rights of usage can range anywhere from $500 a month to $50,000 a month. We've seen influencers that will give a flat rate for perpetual licensing rights, which means that you can use the video forever. There's no limit on the amount of time. However, most of the time, influencers will give you a limit on how long you can use their content for, and you're going to be paying for that amount of time. And then you have Spark ads. So in our agency and in a lot of our competitors' agencies, they and we don't charge for Spark ads. Again, you have outliers. I've seen influencers that have charged for Spark ads. I've seen agencies that have charged for Spark ads, but the majority of people in the industry will not charge and will allow you to promote your post for free. The reasoning behind this is very simple. If you're putting $1,000 behind a video to get more views, that means the influencer's video is getting more views, he's getting more followers, and it's kind of a win-win situation for everyone. So that was the first part of the speech about pricing, what you're paying for, how to calculate, and that. Now we're going to talk about how do you measure the ROI? What are you looking for when the campaign is over? How do you know if this was successful and you should be doing this again? So we get to brand awareness. TikTok is a phenomenal platform for brand awareness. It is amazing when you want to get your brand out in front of as many people as possible for the lowest cost possible. That's what TikTok is for. A lot of brands come into TikTok expecting to pay $1,000. They get an influencer to post for them, and they're thinking, okay, now I'm going to make $10,000 in sales. Unfortunately, the reality is that usually doesn't happen. It does sometimes, but it's not the norm. If you're looking for actionable ROI of actual sales, you're better off spending your money on Instagram and YouTube, which has a much better conversion rate and a much better funnel for viewers to go and purchase your product. TikTok is all about eyeballs. How many people are going to see your product and how much is it going to cost you? So when you're running a campaign on TikTok, at least something that I tell my clients is focus on the brand awareness. Focus on views, focus on eyeballs, focus on brand awareness. If you're focusing on sales, you're going to be disappointed, and we're doing a bad job if that's what you're looking at. Most agencies operate very similarly to this, where they tell their clients, focus on the brand awareness. This is what TikTok is for. It's about the eyeballs. Now, you launch the campaign, you're sitting down, you're looking at the results. How do you know if it's successful? So, like we said, we have the brand awareness. However, there are other ways that you can also tell if your campaign was successful other than just looking at the views. And this is actionable results, like actual physical results that you can touch, that are real, that are in front of you. So some of those results are uptick in site visits, actual purchases of your product, a higher search rate for your product or your brand on Google or other social platforms. And that's a very clear indicator if your campaign was successful. If you were selling for the last month $1,000 of products, you did a TikTok campaign, and then tomorrow you sold $10,000 in products, clearly the TikTok campaign was successful. However, as I mentioned, it's not the only way to measure the success, and it really shouldn't be the focus of how you're measuring. The focus should be on the views, and what you should be doing is coming up with a set amount of views that in your mind, that's a successful campaign. So let's say you decide that you want to see 1 million views from this campaign in order to decide if it was successful or not, and the campaign got 500,000 views, campaign was a failure. If the campaign got 2 million views, it was successful. And that's something that you need to work with the agent or the influencer before you launch your campaign. Get on the same page so that you guys have the same KPIs and you know what you're looking for. Now we get to the last part of my speech, which is about talking about agencies. A lot of brands prefer to work with an agency due to the fact that agencies usually have better pricing than when working directly with influencers. And overall, they make the brand's life a lot easier by handling all of the negative aspects of working with influencers in the industry. So when it comes to choosing an agency, you have 3 main types of agencies that you can choose from. You have marketing and PR agencies. These are agencies that focus more on traditional advertising and traditional PR. They don't specialize in social media. They don't specialize in TikTok. They do TV advertising, commercials, things like that. You have talent management agencies. These are small management firms that usually manage anywhere from 5 up to about 30 influencers. They help them with their career. They help them grow. And these agencies are very small boutique agencies that simply manage talent. They don't focus on marketing brands and growing brands. They focus on marketing their influencers and growing their influencers. Doing partnerships with brands is kind of just part of what they do as they try to help their influencers grow. And then you have influencer agencies similar to Clicks Talent, where we specialize in focusing on marketing brands. We use influencers to market brands instead of using brands to market influencers. Now, when it comes to choosing an agency, regardless of the type of agency you decide to go with, there's a few things you need to be aware of. There's a lot of fraud in the industry. There's a lot of lying and cheating going on behind closed doors that brands usually are unaware of and just simply don't know about. So first off, you have paying for press. Nowadays, about 50% of the articles written in Forbes, Business Insider, Yahoo Finance, and other very well-known and established online newspapers are paid for. They do not say that they are paid for. They do not have a sponsored tag. They do not have anything like that. It's usually shady deals behind closed doors where people will pay a broker to then go and write up an article to subtly market and promote the marketing agency as a good agency, when in reality they have no place to be in these types of articles. Next, you have paying for followers. This goes for influencers as well. Many people, many influencers, many agencies pay for followers. I've seen an agency page that has over 100 million followers on TikTok, and I know for a fact they paid for that 100 million followers. The thing is that when brands come and see that, all they're seeing is the 100 million. They're not seeing the few $1,000s that was paid to get that 100 million. And it goes the same for influencers. When you come to an influencer and you see 1 million followers, you shouldn't be excited about that. You shouldn't go, wow, he must be huge. Just because he has 1 million followers doesn't mean he actually has 1 million followers. Next, you have faking our clients. This is less common, but I have seen it on some agency websites where they have our clients, as in Google, Facebook, YouTube, big well-known companies that you as a small brand have no way of actually verifying are their clients. I know that this is something, as I've had people confess to me that they're putting this on their website and it's not really their clients, but hey, no one can call them out for it, so why not? This is just something to be aware of. If you go to a marketing company's website and all you see are these famous, well-known brands, take it with a grain of salt. Our suggestion is look for companies that have kind of a mix. They have some very well-known companies, but they also have lesser-known companies. Those are companies usually that are being a little bit more honest when it comes to who their clients are. And lastly, you have agencies with no experience. So this is mainly in regards to the first type of agency, the marketing and PR agency. They have no experience in social media. They have no experience in TikTok. They have no experience in this entire industry. But they believe that because they know how to do a TV commercial, they can do a TikTok commercial. And that simply isn't the case. When working with these types of agencies, you're usually going to be paying up to 10 times the going rate of an influencer. I know this as we have influencers whose rates are $100, let's say for a video, and a client will come in and be like, hey, I'll offer you $1,500 for this influencer. And every time we get that, it is only coming from a marketing agency that doesn't do social media. So it's something you need to be aware of, is that you're usually paying more for lower quality influencers. This is another thing where with agencies with no experience, they don't know how to choose the quality influencers. They don't know how to check if the followers are real. They don't know how to check if the content is quality. They just go based off of followers. They see 700,000 followers. They go $1,000. That's it. They don't think twice about it. And these agencies end up taking your hard-earned cash and giving you nothing in return. Now, as a summary for what we spoke about today, we spoke about how to calculate influencer pricing, what you're able to be paying for, and how to decide what to pay for it. We spoke about measuring campaign success, how to know if your campaign was successful, and how to make a decision on how to move forward. And lastly, we spoke about choosing an agency, how to figure out what agencies are legitimate, which ones aren't, and how to decide how you want to move forward. It was a pleasure speaking here today. I appreciate everyone coming out. I'm available now for any questions, and yeah.
Thank you, AB, for a wonderful, very detailed presentation. I really enjoyed it. I love it actually, especially when you talk about how using TikTok as more of grabbing eyeballs, because I think people who are not familiar with TikTok, they have this impression or assumption thinking that TikTok's going to drive them sales, and then they spend the money on the TikTok marketing, and then they say, oh, there is no sales. So how do you manage that expectations with clients about not having the goal of using TikTok as a sales generator? Then why should brands spend money on that?
Sure. So I make sure that my clients understand something called the virality factor. The virality factor is a concept that I came up with, which basically talks about how posting any video on TikTok gives you the chance to go viral and reach tens of millions of people. I can post a video right now showing my phone saying, hey guys, look at this Samsung Galaxy. It's awesome. I love it. Video can get 100 million views. Samsung Galaxy sales shoot up. Phenomenal partnership. Everyone's happy. Unfortunately, the reality of the situation is that as TikTok becomes more and more popular, the chances of something like that happening become less and less. So we make sure that our clients understand that although, yes, you might go viral, you might make a ton of sales, you might make millions from this, don't expect it. Be aware that it's probably not going to happen. You probably won't go viral. It probably won't get hundreds of thousands in sales. And we just make sure that our clients are aware of this before we even sign a contract.
Very, very good point. I think this is something we have to set the right expectations. And speaking of which, I know that TikTok, they are trying to push out like longer form content as well as pushing out kind of more ad content. Like, how do you see this platform shifting over the next year or so?
I feel that TikTok is always going to still be focused on the short form video. That's what made TikTok so popular. That's why most people are going onto TikTok. I know that I'm not going onto TikTok to watch a 15-minute video. That's what I have YouTube for. To get people to move from their comfortable platform and what they're familiar with to a new platform for a completely different style of content is extremely hard and is a whole nother business process on its own. So although TikTok is trying to experiment more with long form content, I think it will benefit the creators who don't have followings on YouTube and other social media platforms, but have been wanting to create longer form content. That's great for them. But in terms of viewers and consumers, majority of people looking for their long form content are going to stay on YouTube. And although you will have some people going to TikTok, the majority of people on TikTok will be there for the short form video content.
It's good. I think this gives some clarity for people who are not focusing on TikTok marketing right now. And we have this question from Ivana, I hope I pronounced it correctly. Which brands actually make use of influencers? Like, are they older, newer brands? Like, is there any difference?
No, you have everything. We've worked with brands that have been around for 60 years. We've worked with brands that have been around for 6 months. Majority of brands working with TikTok influencers are usually the younger, newer brands. The older, larger brands are a lot more apprehensive of getting involved are a lot more apprehensive getting involved in these new social media platforms. But little by little, over the course of the last 2 years, we've been seeing more and more larger brands like Google and Sony getting involved in TikTok influencer marketing.
Mm-hmm. The thing is a good thing because I believe at the beginning, many adopters of TikTok were more of like Generation Z and younger. So the older demographics don't treat TikTok that seriously. So I guess there
Yep.
is some concern still.
Yep.
And we have another question from Sophia. Is it worth investing in live streams on TikTok?
Definitely. So you currently have right now approximately 50 live stream platforms that are competing with TikTok. These are platforms where they are social media platforms where their main focus is live stream. And I'm not talking about Twitch or Kick, which are very large platforms. I'm talking about more up and coming platforms that are much lesser known. You have Bigo, you have Kwai, you have Likey, you have Lively, UpLive. The list goes on. There's about 50 apps in total as of right now that are competing with TikTok to try and monetize live streams. If done right, live streaming is extremely monetizable and has a lot of potential. In China, Douyin, which is the Chinese version of TikTok, has shoppable live streams, as does Kuaishou, their number one competitor. Both of them make billions of dollars a year off of shoppable live stream. Shoppable live stream has already started on TikTok in the UK and the US. TikTok is getting ready to launch shoppable live stream as well. So it's only a matter of time before it becomes more of a global phenomenon, and it's everywhere. And although it's not just live stream, it's shoppable live stream. The concepts of live stream up until now have been, how can we sell to people in a more effective way? So shoppable live stream just takes regular live streaming and taking someone live streaming and saying, hey, check out this product, go buy it right now. And it makes it a lot easier for us to actually go and buy it right now. But it is definitely something that brands little by little have been more interested in and have been asking us more about. And it is definitely where the industry is going.
Actually, I have a question of that, following up on that myself. I'm actually curious because Meta withdrew shoppable live stream on Instagram, stating that they didn't see a good uptake. Do you think that will be any different for TikTok?
100%. I think that Meta has tried to go up against TikTok on multiple different fronts, and they have mostly failed in every aspect. Whenever they try to take on TikTok, they just, for whatever reason, they don't do it right. TikTok is coming from China. And in China, they have a lot of things that just work. Now, although the Western culture is different than the Chinese culture, TikTok seems very, very good at pinpointing what works and then applying it to the Western culture and using it here. So whenever they implement new features, it usually takes off very, very well versus their competitors like Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, where when they try to do it, they implement it without that experience, without that knowledge, and then it fails.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good point. It's a good point. Sorry, I tripped on my words.
No worries.
So I think it's definitely good to kind of keep an eye out on TikTok and in this space, because I'm also curious to see how they can implement it differently from what Meta has failed in this space.
Yep.
And we have another question right there from Yana, asking, for which niches TikTok works best? Cosmetics, fashion, yes, but what about digital products, design, fonts, etc.? Would that still work?
If there is a brand out there that does it, TikTok works for it. There is nothing that you cannot find on TikTok. And the beauty of TikTok is the algorithm. So let's say you have a beauty brand and you want to, a lot of beauty brands are going to be like, oh, I want a beauty influencer. But you don't need a beauty influencer, because just because a beauty influencer is posting the content doesn't mean that people interested in beauty are specifically seeing it. Rather, the way that it works is TikTok shows the content that the user is interested in to him. So if you take, for example, a comedian who's promoting a beauty product, even though technically the niches clash. TikTok is showing that to people who are interested in comedy and beauty. Even though this is a comedian that we're talking about, TikTok can detect that there's a beauty product here, that it's a beauty focused, a beauty centric video. And even though it's comedy, it's going to be shown more to people interested in beauty. So when it really comes, when it comes down to like what niches work best on TikTok, everything works best. There is no good and bad. TikTok is extremely good at showing the people the content that they want to see. And as long as there are people interested in your product, they will see it, and and you're going to get those views.
It's good information. And now we go on to this next question. Actually, this is probably more in line with the algorithm. The question is from Nika: how often should we post new videos for organic growth?
3 times a day minimum.
3 times a
Very,
day?
very simple. 3 times a day.
Wow.
3 times a day. With TikTok, it's simply a numbers game. It's simply a numbers game. I've seen videos that I'm willing to bet $1,000 are going to do horrible, go viral, and get 5 million views, and vice versa. I've seen videos where tons of hours of work have been put into them. They spent a few $1,000s on the production, really put a lot of effort, and the video got 1,000 views. At the end of the day, as humans, even with all of our experience, my entire team's experience, we can try and predict as much as possible what's going to be successful and not. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what does the algorithm decide is actually interesting to people. So you want to post as much content as frequently as possible in order to potentially hit that viral factor, go viral, get millions of views, and grow from there.
It's definitely very good advice, I think, because most people don't think about posting that much content.
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy, but hey, in the ideal world, that's what you would do.
Is there any difference then between posting on a weekday and a weekend then? Should the brands take a break?
It depends. It depends on the influencer. I mean, at the end of the day, there's always somebody posting everywhere at some point. So some influencers simply perform better on the weekends. Some influencers perform better on the weekdays. It's an individual case. You need to look at your data. TikTok gives you access if you change your account, whether you're a brand or not, you change your account to a creator profile, and it gives you a lot of insight into how your posts perform, what works, what doesn't. And if you learn from that and implement it, you'll be able to better see results.
It's a good question there about growth. And we have a very specific question from Yelena. What about very specific groups such as older population and construction industry, which is their target group? Is TikTok the right platform in that case?
Definitely. So if this was 3 years ago, I would say, maybe not. But nowadays, every single person's grandma and grandpa are on TikTok. TikTok is for everybody. There is, when we're looking at our data and looking at the follower range of the audience range of influencers, so a majority is going to be 18 to 35 year olds, but that's just because the majority of the world is 18 to 35, not because the majority of 18 to 35 year olds are on TikTok, meaning that also for every influencer that has a majority following of 18 to 35, they also have a very large following of 35 and up. So when it comes down to, we're targeting older people or construction, for example, definitely TikTok is the place to go. Again, TikTok is the best place to go to get as many people to see your content, see your brand, and for it to cost you the least amount of money, regardless of what you're marketing and regardless of who you're marketing it to. I would say TikTok probably isn't effective if you're marketing to a 1-year-old baby, because 1-year-old babies aren't watching content. But other than that, TikTok's the place to go. It's where everybody is. I do not know a single person that doesn't have TikTok downloaded on their phone. I know many people that don't have Facebook downloaded on their phone.
Yeah, I know that's kind of like Facebook's becoming more obsolete, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we have another question right here from Yana. What about strategy? I guess asking about TikTok strategy. Like, do you go for the latest trend, or do you plan and schedule weekly content, like based on specific target and vision?
I have a very simple philosophy about that. I'm not a content creator. I could have done TikTok. I've been working with TikTok for 5 years. I was there right in the beginning. I could have gotten early. I could have gained millions of followers. I could have been doing the renegade and everything. But it's not me. It's not what I do. We leave the general strategy up to each individual influencer. They know what content works. They know what style works. They know they know what time of day works best. We leave that up to the influencer. We suggest to the client to leave that up to the influencer. We help guide the influencer. We help work with the client to come up with an overarching strategy. But when it comes down to exactly what trends to use and exactly what to do, we leave that up to the influencer because they know best.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a really good answer you have there, because that also answered the next question we have there, was the recommendation of what time is it better to post, like in the morning, in the evening.
Again, it's individual. Every influencer can go in their back end and they can see a row of bars that tells them how many people are viewing their content at different times and on different days. It's individual.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is the same probably for all the different platforms. They have all these talks about, oh, best time to post, weekdays, weekends, and then depends
There
on
is
where
none.
there is none.
There is no good time to post. People are consuming content 24/7. There's no like, oh, it's Tuesday at 7 p.m. The world shut down for some reason. Like, everyone's consuming content at all times of the day.
Mm-hmm.
The question is how many people are consuming your content on which day the most? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Brilliant. And we have this next question specific to B2B, business to business, from Lita, asking about, what do you think about TikTok for B2B? Does it still
I
work?
think it's an amazing idea. We've been getting a lot of, I'm a big believer in TikTok. We've been getting a lot of interest from B2B companies in TikTok. And what I tell my clients is very simple. Are you on TikTok? Is everyone watching this on TikTok? When you guys go to the bathroom, do you sit on your TikTok? When you take a break from work, do you sit on TikTok? Great. Well, then everyone that you're targeting, all those executives, the CEOs, the VPs, and the directors, probably on TikTok also. All you need to do is let the algorithm do its job. Post the content that you want. For example, if you're a B2B company that works in financing, you finance other companies, and you create a content revolving around financing a company, TikTok isn't going to show that to a 15-year-old girl, because a 15-year-old girl doesn't care about that. But TikTok is going to show that to a 45-year-old man working in finance, because that 45-year-old man working in finance is interested in that type of content. And TikTok is really, really good at knowing what you like.
It's a great point, I think. Talking about toilet breaks and TikTok. I do wonder that, because when I'm on LinkedIn, right, I put on polls asking my network who's on TikTok, and everybody says, nope, we don't want TikTok. So I was just wondering, like, is it because people who are on TikTok at work don't want to admit that they're actually on TikTok?
Definitely possible. Definitely possible. It has morphed into this kind of like thing where it's like, oh, I don't want to go on TikTok and waste my time. But at the end of the day, there's tons of people on TikTok that aren't wasting their time, that are using TikTok for business, that are doing actual business research on TikTok for potential clients, for potential interest, brainstorming ideas. And again, the majority, like TikTok is over 150 million people are on TikTok. Your client is out there and they're on TikTok. Maybe not all your clients, but definitely some of them are there.
For sure. And we have another question as well, a bit more specific about the content, asking about hashtags. Like, does hashtags work? on TikTok? Does it matter what hashtags do you put on when you publish your content?
Definitely. And if you want to know what hashtags you should be using, ask the influencer. Again, not a content creator, not my job. Every day, different hashtags relevant. That's like asking, like, what hashtag should I use on Twitter? Oh, what's trending on Twitter? What are you posting about? What does it have to do? It's a very generalized question. Again, we leave hashtags up to the influencers. So when we're running a large campaign, let's say like a $100,000 and up campaign with like 50, 100 influencers, we'll usually have a singular hashtag in order to track the results of the campaign. So I don't know, let's say we're promoting a pen brand, it will be hashtag pen brand rules, something like that. The goal isn't to use that hashtag to get more views. It's more so to be able to track how many views in total did all the videos with hashtag pen brand rules get. How well did it perform? It's more of like an internal tool that we use. But when it comes down to what hashtags are going to get you more views, depends on what's trending, depends on what your content is, and most importantly, it depends on the hashtags that the influencer usually uses and decides to use now.
It's definitely it is very good question about like hashtags, and I think measuring the performance of the hashtags itself or internally, I think this is definitely a good idea. So it gives everyone like a good over bird's eye view of what's working and what's not. And I think we are kind of with a couple of minutes left. Actually, I have this probably let's round up with this last question I actually have. I think most of the audience probably has similar questions about the controversies around TikTok marketing. I mean, there is a lot of news the last 1 or 2 months or so, with all the banning in the US of the on TikTok on marketing on devices, as well as in the UK, as well in the EU. So there's all these things surrounding TikTok. Like, will TikTok survive? How is that? What do you think is going to happen? If you can look into your
we are currently working on 3 individual campaigns for 3 individual governments. I'm not worried. Just because TikTok's banned on your phone doesn't mean that the government at the same time isn't going, yeah, but this is a great way to market. We're going to use this. It's all about the scare in the world right now about China and privacy and blah, blah. And at the end of the day, who the hell cares if China has your data or if America has your data? Your data isn't yours anymore, and it hasn't been yours for many, many years. Nothing's changing if China has your data. With that said, TikTok's not going anywhere. There is way too many people that use it, and all I say is to the US government is good luck trying to ban an app in the US. Not going to happen. In India, they banned TikTok. Half the country still uses TikTok. And that's India, where they're not exactly the most democracy and freedom and blah, 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 blah. But we tried to tell Americans to put a piece of cloth on their faces, and people lost their shit. You think you're going to tell them what they're allowed to download on their phone, and they're just going to sit by and take it? Not worried at all.
It's good. And having said that, I think we have come to the end. I hope this helps answer everyone's question, who's very excited to hear all about TikTok, if they use it for their marketing. You've provided really good, insightful tips for those people who want to work with influencers to grow brand visibility. So that's awesome. Thank you very much, AB, for your time today. And for those of you, there is another session for the keynote. You can join in the main stage after this. And if you want to get in touch with AB, what's the best way? You want to share?
Just our website, clickstalent.com.
Okay, perfect. And thank you very much for everyone joining today for the second day of Digital Marketing Europe. And I hope you have brought away a lot of learnings, took a lot of notes, and get to use it back at your work for the next weeks and the next months. So thank you very much and have a great day ahead. Thank you. Thank you, AB.
Bye-bye.